Welcome to this episode of Trojan Poetry, episode 101. 101.
A truly special episode.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's 101. What can you say?
Yeah.
And so, in honor of 101, we're going to go backwards just a little bit. Not all the way back to number one, but back to circa last week? No, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
To Halloween-ish. And so, John and I were looking up some poems that were in the spirit of Halloween and in fall. And I found this one. So, we're going to do one that's tied to Halloween, but we're doing it a little bit late. So
and I've not read it.
I think we can handle it. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. All Hallows Eve by Dorothea Tanning. Be perfect, make it otherwise. Yesterday is torn in shreds. Lightning's thousand sulfur eyes rip apart the breathing beds. Hear bones crack and pulverize. Doom creeps in on rubber treads. Countless overwrought housewives, minds unraveling like threads, try lipstick shades to tranquilize fears of age and general dreads. Sit tight, be perfect, swat the spies. Don't take faucets for fountainheads. Drink tasty antidotes, otherwise you and the werewolf, newlyweds.
Wow.
You started getting into it before I even finished.
It was like a rap. Sign. You were rapping.
Yeah.
You felt the beats.
Did I spit some hot fire there? I think I did. You weren't beatboxing though. You gotta give me a beat. Come on now.
Oh my
John,
goodness.
You left me hanging there. I can't MC if you're not backing me up.
Well, I can't back you up, so you won't be emceeing.
Well, so therefore, well, I'm just gonna jump in real quick and point out the rhyme scheme. I actually didn't notice the rhyme scheme at all the first maybe 2 times I read the poem, and then as I went back, I noticed. For some reason, I noticed the words otherwise and otherwise repeating, and then I realized, oh my God, it rhymes. And when I read it out loud there, I mean, obviously...
Yeah, you really hit it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. You can really hear it.
Wow.
So what are your first impressions then?
Well, I'm curious about the title, why
Right.
it's called All Hallows Eve. Unless the Eve... Oh, is that what it is? Like Eve as in Adam and Eve?
Whoa.
Like it's because it ends up being about women.
Right.
So it
could be, yeah.
Because then getting married at the end, right, might be some sort of feminist or commentary on women. Again, my first reading here, folks. So I wasn't expecting that at all. Like about halfway through, it seems it took that turn very sharply to being specifically gendered, right, with the lipstick and the housewives. I don't really fully understand or comprehend what's going on at this point, except for maybe that. And then the idea of being married to a werewolf seems like a bad thing here, right? It says, otherwise, you and the werewolf, newlyweds.
Yeah.
But I've read a lot of stuff like Angela Carter has a whole thing about werewolves and about how maybe it wouldn't be bad to be a female werewolf because then you have some power, right? And you're kind of wild. So I that's where my head was going. So what was your...
Well, when you said that about werewolves, I mean, that's really the reason I picked this poem, because I just love that last line. Otherwise, you and the werewolf, newlyweds. And it does seem threatening and kind of foreboding with that otherwise.
Right, like you don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want that to end up happening. But when you just said that about female werewolves, and you have power, and they're tied to the moon, which is Diana, the goddess. I guess that would be a good thing as a woman, but you're not, in this poem, you don't get to be the werewolf. You're married to the werewolf.
Right.
And one thing that I did notice also the first time that I read this was the repetition of be perfect. So in the first line, be perfect, make it otherwise. And then down about 4 lines from the bottom, sit tight, be perfect, swat the spies. And so then when you go back to that gender specific kind of feminist feel, be perfect, countless overwrought housewives, trying to tranquilize fears of age and general dreads. So I don't know if the women, the housewives, are the monsters that are like shriveling and turning into something other than what they are, or if it's just the idea that women have to be perfect, and as they age, they're changing, and maybe that has something to do with marrying the werewolf.
I guess I don't even really fully understand the first line. Be perfect, make it otherwise.
That seems contradictory when you first read it.
Unless making it otherwise is what makes it perfect.
Yes.
Right. So don't be one of these don't be one of these women who's trying to tranquilize
And your
right,
mind
and
is
I guess,
unraveling.
like, if you think maybe of the werewolf, like, you're married to a guy, but he turns out to be a wolf, like, in a bad way. You know what I mean? Like, that would be...
He transforms into something you never
right, like
expected.
a beast, maybe, right?
Yeah.
That you don't want that.
Right.
But I'm used to maybe the more postmodern Angela Carter who flips it all around and says, well,
it's okay.
let's all be wolves, basically, right?
My other question is about the first half, like you said, right before the turn there.
Yeah.
Yesterday is torn in shreds, and then lightning's eyes rip apart the breathing beds, hear bones crack and pulverize, doom creeps in on rubber treads.
Yeah.
So I still haven't figured out what is it on rubber treads. Is it her husband with his boots on?
Right.
Like treads on the bottom of shoes?
Right.
And yesterday is torn in shreds. So obviously life is not going well.
Right.
You be perfect, make it otherwise, right? You have to change, and the only way you can do that is to be perfect for this werewolf or for the husband, maybe.
Okay.
And then the bottom, don't take faucets for fountainheads. So don't make, that's like mountain out of molehill, right? Don't take something small and make it gigantic. Drink tasty antidotes. Maybe that's drinking wine or something. Otherwise, you and the werewolf are newlyweds.
Right, and maybe like faucets for, like, faucet is a very domestic housewife, or house thing, and a fountainhead could be like an idea, right? Like a spring. Don't think a faucet is the fountainhead for your identity, right? Like, I don't know.
There you go, a little Ayn
Right,
Rand there.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, she don't feel like that's who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that maybe part of it?
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I could see that. I'm still, no matter how many times I read it, that last line is so, just the visual that gives me, that creates my mind, and yet I don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
But that's one of the great things about poetry is, I mean, we could come back to something like this over and over and come up with different interpretations each time. So hopefully we're on the right track. It's one of those mysterious, cryptic ones that I enjoy. I like talking about it, and maybe it's all right that there aren't final answers.
Oh yeah, and it came out in 2011. So Dorothea Tanning, if you're out there, maybe let us know if we're on the right track.
Right, or our apologies in advance for totally missing the boat.
Yeah, yikes.
All right, well,
but I do think the Eve thing. I do think the Eve thing is a
reference to
yeah,
and I didn't think about that. I thought of it as a purely Halloween horror poem
Hallows
because
Eve.
the first half is bones cracking and doom creeping in and all that kind of stuff. So that's an interesting take on the title. All right, thanks for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at Trojan Poetry DGN. At Trojan Poetry DGN.
Or check out our website at trojanpoetrydgn.blogspot.com.
We did it someday. I gotta write that on. Can we put that on a Post-it note?
We did it.